Happy New Year, everyone. 2024 is a big year for ELPC and certainly a very big year for our nation. Here's what's up ahead for ELPC. First of all, climate solutions. ELPC public interest attorneys and energy experts are in front of 7 Midwest Public Utility Commissions. We're working on modernizing the grid. The grid has got to be cleaner, more equitable, and these technical regulatory proceedings are really where the rubber hits the road. In 2023, ELPC and our partners achieved wins in 5 big utility rate cases in Illinois. The utilities are now fighting back. They're going to the courts, the legislature. The ELPC Clean Energy team is ready. And what we're fighting for here is less gas, less carbon pollution, a better, more modern grid, and fair utility rates for everybody. Let's be clear. If we want clean energy, we must have clean government. And Commonwealth Edison and First Energy must be held accountable for their corruption in Illinois and Ohio. They can't be rewarded for their bribery. Let me turn to a different matter. Why in the world should the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers site a towering toxic waste dump on the shoreline of Lake Michigan when we know that climate change is causing more intensive storms and heavy winds and high waves that are going to batter the shoreline? The public deserves better. ELPC is representing the Alliance of the Southeast and Friends of the Parks in a lawsuit to protect an environmental justice community that's already overloaded with a long history of toxic pollution. The lakeshore should be for parks, not for more toxic pollution, and ELPC is fighting to protect these communities in Lake Michigan. ELPC is expanding our work in Northwest Indiana to protect environmental justice communities, Lake Michigan, and the Indiana Dunes National Park. We're focused on reducing air and water pollution from the area's 3 large steel mills and the huge BP oil refinery. ELPC attorneys also represent the Gary Advocates for Responsible Development in a lawsuit to stop 2 large waste burners that would really worsen air quality in the nearby environmental justice communities. And ELPC public interest attorneys represent Save the Dunes and other local environmental groups to tighten up permits for the steel mills and BP's oil refinery. Look for big announcements this year in ELPC's Power Plants to Parklands projects in Michigan. We're working with utilities and community partners to reimagine and redevelop coal plant sites. These are great sites for parklands and greenways for public use and enjoyment. And then you can use the site that's hardwired into the electrical grid for renewable energy such as solar energy and storage. This is one of the ELPC innovative projects that if we succeed here in Michigan, we can replicate at coal plant sites around the Midwest. Good for jobs, good for economic growth, good for the environment, parklands for people to use and enjoy, and more clean energy on the grid. That's a win-win-win. In Michigan, we're continuing our challenge to take the Line 5 oil pipeline out of the Great Lakes. We're going to the Michigan Court of Appeals next. ELPC is in this battle for the long haul. In Ohio, ELPC is likewise in a long fight to protect Lake Erie from severe recurring toxic algae outbreaks almost every summer. Last year, we achieved a nationally precedential consent decree requiring Ohio to reduce agricultural runoff pollution. Unfortunately, both the state of Ohio and the U.S. EPA didn't do its job well, so we're going to be back in court, ELPC, with the Lucas County Board of Commissioners and the City of Toledo to make sure we achieve our shared goal, a cleaner Lake Erie that's good for everyone, good for the environment, and good for the communities around it. In Iowa, Senior Attorney Josh Mandelbaum is back at ELPC working to shut down Mid-American Energy's old, highly polluting coal plants. Let's get it done. In Wisconsin, ELPC is in federal court litigation on behalf of 4 conservation groups to protect the Upper Mississippi River National Wildlife and Fish Refuge from the destructive Cardinal Hickory Creek transmission line. ELPC is also working to advance a second round of federal funding for the Driftless Area Land Conservation Initiative to protect biodiversity, wildlife habitat, and the vital natural resources of the scenic driftless area landscape. In Minnesota, we had a big win before the Public Utility Commission, which decided that energy justice is an important concern in setting Xcel Energy's rates. Going forward, this means that utility planning will include a focus on affordability and a more flexible distributed grid, and that can support community solar and battery storage systems. Last fall, ELPC opened up our formal Washington, D.C. office. We're going to help lead the charge to get more funding for the very successful Great Lakes Restoration Initiative. And of course, we're going to play effectively on the 2024 Federal Farm Bill, which Congress is considering. Thank you to ELPC's supporters and partners who help us protect the Midwest environment. 2024 is going to be one heck of a year. We're going to make a difference, and thank you for joining us in doing it. My best wishes to you and your loved ones for a happy and healthy 2024.